Benvenuti amici, buon pomeriggio. Ormai non dico più buonasera, dico buon pomeriggio perché anche io sono sul vostro fuso orario. I don't say good evening anymore, I just say good afternoon because now I'm in the same time zone as you guys. I'm currently in New York, sono a New York ragazzi, in una stanza d'hotel. Come sempre pieno d'energia e carichissimo per questa lezione di italiano, questa diretta che facciamo tutti i mercoledì in cui faremo esercizi dal vivo, un bel test di italiano risolto insieme. As usually, every Wednesday I'm here with a lot of energy for the live grammar show that we are gonna solve together. How does this work? I will show you the question. There will be a blank that you will need to fill out. There will be options, so you just tell me A, B, C, D. And after that, I show you the right answer and a little bit of explanation. I'm open for questions, so you use the chat here. You can ask me whatever you want. Io risponderò a tutte le vostre domande, quindi fatemi le domande in chat senza nessun tipo di vergogna, nessun tipo di problema. Don't be shy, there is no problem, just ask me any questions that you might have and I'm here to solve all your doubts. Va bene? Prima di cominciare vi chiedo di lasciare un mi piace. I ask you all to push the like button before we start because that always helps the algorithm. How to do that? I mean, you see this live show here. You can just close the live chat real quick and there will be here some buttons, so you can just click on like if you like what we do. If you don't like, do nothing. Okay, you see, you click like and that's it, and then we start. After you click live, you can open the chat again. If you have troubles using the live chat, you can open it from here, live chat, click, boom, the chat opens back. Va bene? Ok, amici, siete pronti? Salutiamo un po' gli amici presenti. Allora, wow, quante persone. Mira Smart, ciao, Pamela, Diane Di Gennaro, ciao, Stesia, Kent, Susan Singleton, ciao, Susan, Casey, Debbie, David, ciao David, Marianna, ciao Marianna, grandissima, buon mercoledì. Mirek, tutto a posto, si tira avanti, non male, potrebbe anche andare peggio, non mi posso lamentare. Ok, wow, look at this. Quante opzioni per dire che la vita va a gonfie vele. This is another one, a gonfie vele, alla grande. Ok, poi abbiamo Carlos, ciao Carlos, Omar, Gerushka, ciao Gerushka. She was at dinner with me yesterday night here in Brooklyn. Lila, ciao Lila, come stai? Paola, ciao. Cindy, Carlos, welcome to New York. Lori Leto, buon pomeriggio. Ciao a tutti. Susan, live from New York, it's Grammatica Italiana live. Exactly, è vero. Oh, Katie, ciao Katie, welcome Katie. So Katie, for you, this is the first live grammar class that you attend. I explain a little bit how it works. The topics that I will propose, they are mixed. They come from my database of topics. So some questions might be A2, some questions might be B1, some questions might be B2. So it's a little bit a mix. Some will be easy, some will be difficult, but be open. You can ask me whatever you want and I can explain it basically. If this I say to everyone, if you are a beginner and the question is too difficult, don't feel overwhelmed. It's part of the learning process. Just try at least to grab as much vocabulary as possible. Okay? So try to at least understand the words that are in the sentences and so on. Io tradurrò tutto anche in inglese. Ho subito un intervento di protesi al ginocchio proprio di recente, 2 giorni fa. Spero che tu stia recuperando bene, Kent. I hope you're recovering well. Hey, Joyce, grazie Joyce. She gave me a ride yesterday back to the hotel. Dear Joyce, okay, thank you so much also for driving us back to the hotel. Paola, yes, Paola from Redondo Beach. Fantastico. Va bene, cominciamo. Let's get started, guys. I will share my screen. Condivido il mio schermo e cominciamo tra 3, 2, 1. Vai! Scegli l'opzione corretta del passato prossimo. A. Ho vissuta in Italia per 3 anni. B. Sono vissuto in Italia per 3 anni. C. Ho vissuto in Italia per 3 anni. D. Avevo vissuto in Italia per 3 anni. Which one is the right use of passato prossimo? That's what we need, okay? Be careful. You need to understand what's the right auxiliary verb, qual è il verbo ausiliare corretto, e anche poi dobbiamo capire se c'è da concordare in genere e numero, ok? Qual è il significato della frase in inglese? I lived in Italy for 3 years. That's it. How do we say this in Italian? I lived in Italy for 3 years. Vedo già tante C. Bravi. Good. I see a lot of C. That's why I'm going to show you the right answer. It's exactly the C. Congratulations to all the students that said C. Why is it C? Perché vivere è un verbo che usa avere come ausiliare. Ogni volta che usiamo avere come verbo ausiliare, il participio passato rimane invariabile. Ok? Quindi la forma corretta è ho vissuto. Let's do a quick recap on auxiliary verbs, because this is a little bit difficult. I will say it in English. We have two options. It's either avere or essere. These are called auxiliary verbs because they help other verbs to form complex tenses. For example, passato prossimo. Okay? Now, if you have an object, you always use avere. For example, io mangio la mela, io ho mangiato la mela. If there is an object, you always use avere. That's it, easy. If there is no object, it becomes tricky. And there is actually no rule that fits 100% of the cases, but there are guidelines. One important guideline is that if it's a movement, you use essere, okay? Here there is no movement. Ho vissuto, that's where you lived. There is no movement, that's why you use avere as auxiliary verb. And now, also another thing that you need to remember, every time you use avere, you don't need to agree in gender and number with the participio passato, with the past participle. You don't agree in gender and number. That's why you say ho vissuto, even if you are a lady, you still say ho vissuto. You don't say ho vissuta. That's why option A is wrong. If you have essere as auxiliary verb, you will also agree in gender and number. Ok? Quindi sono andata. Ok? This is the whole explanation. Fantastico. Vediamo un po' chi ha il dito più veloce. Who was the fastest one? Mira Smart al primo posto, secondo posto per Gerushka e terzo posto per Mirek. Poi abbiamo Paola, abbiamo Carlo, Stesia, Marianna, brava Marianna. Poi abbiamo Debbie, Lila, David, Rebecca Sack, bene. Vicious Embody, mi sono dimenticato, aspetta. Jane, vero? Jane, se mi ricordo bene. E poi abbiamo Omar, Kelly, Pamela, bene, Susan, Kent, Lori Leto. Ok, va bene, mani sulla tastiera, cari amici. MST. Oh, Janine, sorry. Janine, yes, Janine. For me, it's always so difficult when we have the nicknames. You see, Omar, it's Carol. Okay. All right, oh my God. Carol and Janine, I will remember. At least I will do my best to remember with the nicknames. Bene, mani sulla tastiera, MST, which means mani sulla tastiera, hands on the keyboard, which means we are going with the next one in 3, 2, 1, e vai! Quale frase presenta un uso scorretto del ne? Quindi, quale frase è sbagliata? Questa è la domanda. A. Ne ho mangiato 2 fette. B. Hai del pane? Ne prendo un po'. C. Conosco bene Maria, ne parlo spesso. D. Vuoi della pizza? Ne voglio. Okay? The question is the exercise is which sentence has a wrong use of ne. All right? Che cos'è ne? What is ne? Ne is a particle that we use in Italian, same as ci. That's a different one, but it's also similar use. I mean, not different use, but similar concept. There are two small particles that we have in Italian that allow us to substitute parts of the sentence that we already mentioned. For example, ne, it's used many times when we want to substitute a quantity of something that was already mentioned. Then we can say ne. For example, hai del pane, ne prendo un po'. Sentence B, hai del pane, ne prendo un po'. This sentence is correct. Okay? Why? We are using ne to talk about the quantity of bread. Do you have some bread? I'll take some. It's not a precise quantity, but un po' is a quantity. It's una quantità indefinita. Okay? Quindi un po', a little bit. So sentence B is correct. Sentence C, conosco bene Maria, ne parlo spesso. This is a different case, different use of ne. Basically, when you use ne to substitute about her. For example, I know Maria well, conosco bene Maria, I know Maria well. Ne parlo spesso, I talk about her a lot. Ne parlo spesso. This ne means about her. Okay? Now, so option C or sentence C is correct. Sentence D, vuoi della pizza? Ne voglio. Okay? Also here, we have a correct sentence. It's the quantity, this one, the option D is difficult because the quantity is not really explicitly mentioned. Do you want some pizza? I want some of it. It's like into brackets. It's implicitly mentioned. That's why the D is really fine, and it's really for pro speakers. That's really a complicated sentence. It's correct though. Quindi vuoi della pizza, ne voglio. This sentence is correct. The only wrong sentence here is A. Perché la A è sbagliata? Why is A wrong? Why? Because every time you use ne, the sentence behaves as sentences where you have a direct pronoun. So ne, grammatically speaking, behaves as a direct pronoun. And we know that when we have direct pronouns, so you can say direct pronouns or ne, when we have any of these two things, we need to agree in gender and number. Okay? So the problem with sentence A is just in the past participle. You cannot say ne ho mangiato due fette. You must say ne ho mangiate. Ok? Ne ho mangiate due fette. Quante fette di pizza hai mangiato? Ne ho mangiate 2. Ok? Di che cosa? Di fette di pizza. Ne ho mangiate 2. Va bene? Quindi vi lascio anche la spiegazione. I also leave you here with a written note. You can download it from the platform later on, from the community. I will read it for you. Con ne, che indica una quantità plurale, quindi 2 fette, il participio passato deve concordare al plurale. Ne ho mangiate 2 fette. 2 fette è femminile plurale, per cui il participio passato non può essere mangiato, ma deve essere mangiate. I will say it in English. 2 fette is feminine plural. This is why the past participle has to become mangiate, feminine plural. I will give you now a sentence where ne ho mangiato is actually good. This would be a sentence without 2 fette, but with something which is masculine singular. For example, quanto pane hai mangiato? ne ho mangiato tanto. Ok? How much bread have you eaten? I ate a lot of bread. Quanto pane hai mangiato? Ne ho mangiato tanto. Di pane. Pane è masculine singular, il pane maschile singolare. Ok? Vediamo un po' chi ha il dito più veloce. Vediamo in chat. Allora, al primo posto Mirek. Bene, bene. Secondo posto per Kent. Congratulations. E poi abbiamo Stesia, terzo posto. Risponde bene Gerushka. Risponde bene Carol, la grandissima Marianna. E poi abbiamo Gabriele Ravina. E poi abbiamo Janine. E poi abbiamo Debbie. E poi abbiamo Diane Di Gennaro. E poi abbiamo Lori Leto, Rebecca, Susan Singleton, Mira Smart che si corregge. Va bene? Ci sono domande? Vediamo un po'. Ci sono domande? Are there questions, guys? Ci sono domande? Are there questions? I don't see questions, so I will continue. Mani sulla tastiera, MST. Let's continue with the next one. In 3, 2, 1, go! L'ufficio si trova fine della strada. A, alla, B, alla, C, in, D, nella. Difficult. Preposizione. In English, the sentence will be, the office is located at the end of the street. Okay? Basically, the exercise is about picking the right preposition. Let's do a quick recap while everyone has the time to reply. Le preposizioni in italiano sono preposizioni semplici, di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra, e preposizioni articolate. Preposizioni articolate, they are nothing else than simple prepositions combined with an article. Okay? Normally, if you are talking about something specific, a specific location or something like that, you normally have the article. Okay? If you talk about something general, sometimes you don't have the article. So in general, you have the article. So it's better that you learn the simple prepositions, of course, because they are the fundamentals, but then you also learn how to combine them with the articles. Okay? In this case, in Italian, we use the simple preposition a. When you're talking about the end of the road, we say a. We don't say in, because you are not in the street. Say, allora, if you speak, actually, sorry, if you speak in general, you can also say sono in strada, or sono per strada, okay? But if you're talking about the end of the road, something really specific, then you will use a. Quindi, l'ufficio si trova alla fine della strada. Va bene? What is alla with double L? It's nothing else than the combination of a, simple preposition a, and article la. Why la? La fine. Okay, the end, la fine. Here the key is really the end. They will make you change the preposition, because if you just keep it general, l'ufficio si trova in strada, o nella strada 500, o nella strada bla bla bla. But fine wants the preposition a. It's like a point, because you are not in anymore, you are just at the point. Ok? Quindi il dito più veloce è quello di Mirek al primo posto, secondo posto per Stesia, terzo posto per Mira Smart, e poi abbiamo Paola, bene, Gerushka, Marianna, Debbie, Lisa Jesinger, Ed, grande Ed. Man, you are amazing, Ed. Yeah, doing well. Naeda, Carol, Lila, Susan, Diane, Janine, Gabrielle, Lori Leto, Katie, our new Katie, Kent Marzia, Joyce e Cindy. Va bene. Couple of topics, guys. Couple of announcements. Let's take a few minutes. First of all, to improve our offer and our school, I will add more and more new group conversation classes. And I will add one very soon. Actually, I wanted to do it from this week, but let's see, maybe it will be from next week with Nicoletta. So I really want to give a fixed slot to Nicoletta for group conversation classes because she's amazing. Pamela, I think you're not watching the live show live. I think you might be a few seconds behind. Probably you should have a button that says live. Then you can click that and you join us live, basically. Grande Patrizia che applaude. Ok, quindi aggiungerò una nuova lezione di gruppo tutte le settimane, starting from this week or next week with Nicoletta. I will add that. Because also the school is growing even too fast. And I'm trying to keep up with the growth. It's really difficult for me to keep up with the growth. The growth is really huge. So I will add more. And now I agreed with Nicoletta. She would also love to take it. Let's see. Probably Thursday night, I will add a new slot. For the moment, we already have 15 group slots every single week. So it's multiple times a day. You can just join whatever you want, right? Here you find the full schedule with the button to click join Zoom, and then you're in the Zoom class with the other students and the teachers. And as mentioned, I think I will add another one. You see, Thursday, we already have a class at 9 a.m. for intermediate level. Pacific time, for example, it would be noon in New York. Then we have one at 5 p.m., so 2 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm thinking about adding one on Thursday night at 8 p.m. New York time. So there will be 5 p.m. Pacific time with Nicoletta. So we are discussing that. Also, Nicoletta, she's an archaeologist and an expert of history and so on. It could be also a class where we do grammar, of course, but we will also do culture. And we talk about history of Italy, la storia d'Italia, l'archeologia, i monumenti, il patrimonio culturale. Quindi potrebbe essere una lezione che combina argomenti di grammatica e argomenti di cultura italiana, storia e archeologia. Questa è l'idea per il giovedì sera. That was one thing. Also, another thing. Yesterday night, we had an amazing dinner in Brooklyn. You see, I uploaded here in the group from Zoom to Brooklyn. Only 3 days before, this was just a spontaneous idea. And somehow 8 of us ended up in a pizzeria in Brooklyn, speaking Italian, laughing, eating pizza, and finally meeting in real life. This is what Piazza Square is about, not just learning Italian, but becoming part of a real community of people who want to share or who share the same passion for Italy, the language and the culture. You see? Questo è stato ieri sera. Ci siamo visti, abbiamo fatto questo piccolo meetup a New York e c'erano qua i gemelli, Sam e Rihanna, Gerushka, c'era Joyce, Anna, Tori, Leslie. It was amazing. We spent a couple of hours together in a pizzeria. We spoke Italian. I gave a lot of correction. Probably they were all annoyed by me that I would force everyone to speak Italian and give corrections. No, but jokes aside, this is amazing. I want to repeat it. I want to do it always more and more and more. When I have the chance to travel to other places in the US, I will let you know, guys, and hopefully I will give a little bit more notice, or I will tell everyone a little bit earlier, because this time it was really last minute. Like I literally bought my tickets to come to New York on Friday, and that's when I first shared the idea of meeting up. And still, it was 8 of us, so it was amazing, a successful event. Quindi, va bene, una cena perfetta, grazie mille, dice Geruska, grande Geruska. Carlos, the level we are still discussing, but I'm thinking absolute beginner. Patrizia, grande Patrizia, it would be nice to do it in Florida, sarebbe fighissimo farlo anche in Florida. Va bene. Ok, andiamo avanti col nostro test. Mani sulla tastiera. Let's continue with our test. Mani sulla tastiera, 3, 2, 1, vai. Dal mio punto di è stata lezione. A. Dal mio punto di vista è stata un'ottima lezione. B. Dal mio punto di visto è stata un'ottima lezione. C. Dal mio punto di veduta è stata un'ottima lezione. D. Dal mio punto di vista è stata un'ottima lezione. Vedo già arrivare diverse risposte. Here we need to check two things. How do you say in my point of view? Okay, or from my perspective, in my point of view, super useful. Learn it today, never forget it. Write it down in your note. Write it down in your notebook. Dal mio punto di vista equal in my point of view. That's how you say in English? My point of view. Va bene? Quindi dal mio punto di vista, my point of view, I think that's how you say in English, in my point of view or from my point, in my point of view, whatever. I'm not American. In Italian we say dal mio punto di vista o from my perspective o from my point of view. Grazie. Grazie Marianna. Ok, quindi dal mio punto di vista, grazie Marianna mi dà lezioni di inglese. From my point of view. Grazie Marianna, eh? Thank you so much Marianna, I appreciate the help, ok? Dal mio punto di vista, from my point of view. Write it down in your notebook and never forget about it. Forget about it. Va bene. E poi nella seconda parte della frase dobbiamo usare il femminile. How do you know that we need a female? First of all, there is an apostrophe. Look at this. C'è l'apostrofo. In Italian, you never use apostrophe if you have masculine. Look, I write it down here to make sure. Un ottimo amico. Un'ottima amica. Look at this. This is articolo indeterminativo. In italiano, se usiamo l'articolo indeterminativo al maschile, non c'è l'apostrofo. Never, ever, 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 never, 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 ever use apostrophe if you use articolo indeterminativo in the masculine form. Never, 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 never. That's a huge mistake. Remember about it. Never use apostrophe. Un ottimo amico. There is no apostrophe. If you are using articolo indeterminativo in the feminine form, then you always use the apostrophe only in the feminine form. Un'ottima amica. Yes, you have apostrophe. Why? Because un'ottima amica, there will be una, you remove a and you put apostrophe. But in the masculine, you are not using uno, you are using un, because un exists by himself. Ok? Va bene, quindi questa è la risposta corretta, è la D. Punto di vista è un'espressione fissa in italiano, it's a fixed expression in Italian, e non ammette variazioni, and there are no exceptions. Inoltre, lezione è un sostantivo femminile singolare, quindi l'aggettivo ottimo deve concordare diventando ottima. The second part, lezione, the lesson, is a female singular noun, so the adjective has to agree, female singular. Va bene? It becomes from ottimo to ottima. Il dito più veloce è quello di Marianna! Grande Marianna! Wow! Secondo posto per Mirek, terzo posto per Naeda, poi abbiamo Lisa Jessinger, abbiamo Kelly, abbiamo Debbie, Mira Smart e poi abbiamo Cindy Riva. E poi chi abbiamo? Susan, bene, Lila, ottimo, Pamela e poi abbiamo Lori Leto e anche il nostro grande Kent. Va bene, mani sulla tastiera amici, let's go with the next one. Mani sulla tastiera, hands on the keyboard. 3, 2, 1 e vai. Non avevo mai visto un film così lungo, quello. Ok? Uguaglianza. A, che, B, quale, C, come, D, D. I've never seen, I had never seen a movie as long as that one. How do you say as long as that one? Here we are comparing two movies, okay? The one that you had, the one that you had never seen and the one that you saw. We are comparing them, but they are equal, okay? It's a little bit philosophical because one you had never seen, so it doesn't exist, and the other one you saw, so it exists, but they have the same length, okay? How do you compare two things that are same? You use come. Non avevo mai visto un film così lungo come quello. Okay? As they are saying, you cannot say così lungo più di quello or meno di quello. No, no. Here is un comparativo di uguaglianza. There are two things, but they are same. Okay? And you use come. Va bene? And that's exactly what I just said in Italian. Nelle frasi comparative di uguaglianza o somiglianza si usa come, così lungo come quello. Basically, here we have a comparison of two things that are equal or similar, and we use come, right? Va bene, vediamo un po' chi ha il dito più veloce. E allora la risposta corretta è quella di Mira Smart al primo posto, secondo posto per Marianna, e poi abbiamo Mirek, poi abbiamo Naeda, Lila, Geruska, Debbie, Carol, Cindy, Katie, our new Katie, amazing, Janine, Stasia, Diane Di Gennaro, Susan Singleton, Kelly e Paola. Bene, bene, bene ragazzi. Vai, andiamo avanti con la prossima. Let's go with the next one. Actually, guys, what do you think? Should I go to Statue of Liberty now, or is it too late? I'm thinking about that. If after the live show, I should go to the Statue of... I really want to go to the Statue of Liberty, but I'm afraid now it's we are done at 2:30 p.m. I'm afraid it will be too late, because then I think the last fair is like at 6:30 p.m. But so probably I will go tomorrow. But actually, if you can give me tips here on what to do later today in New York, like what should I visit as a tourist in New York after 3 p.m. Oh, sarebbe bello con il tramonto. Marianna dice, ma quindi non è troppo tardi, Marianna? Non è troppo tardi andare tipo alle 3 di pomeriggio? Vai, walk the High Line, vai, oppure prendi the Staten Island Ferry. Ah, non so, dice Marianna. Non so, remember Marianna, non, okay? Go to Statue of Liberty tomorrow. So in the morning you say it's better. Oh, it's okay to go, dice Joyce. Walk the High Line. What is that? What's walk the High Line? Oh, il Museo di 9/11. We went yesterday to the 9/11 memorial, but we didn't go inside the museum. So you say we should go? Museo del 9/11. Okay, but anyway, let's continue with our live show, unless you guys have any questions so far. I want to ask Katie. Katie, how are you doing? How is the live show so far? Easy, difficult? Come ti sembra la diretta? Ti sembra facile? Ti sembra difficile? Dimmi un po' quali sono le tue opinioni per adesso. Tell me what's a little bit your take so far. What's your opinion so far? How do you feel about the live show? Is it easy or is it difficult? I think you're doing pretty well, actually. You had a lot of right answers. Allora, mi consiglia Lori Leto di andare all'Intrepid Museum. Oh, top of Empire State Building, dovrei andare in cima. Actually, I wanted to go, rather than going to the Empire State Building, which is super expensive, and I mean, you don't see the Empire State Building from the Empire State Building. I was thinking about going to a rooftop just in front of the Empire State Building. At least you just pay for a drink, you enjoy a drink, and you see the Empire State Building from there. È ben fatto, ma ci vuole molto tempo. Ah, ok, è una cosa da visitare in tante ore. Ok, informazione nuova, dice Katie. Good. So you're learning new stuff, Katie. Nice, I love it. Oh, Top of the Rock, Marianna. Top of the Rock is better. Yeah. Top of the Rock is I think it's on top of the Rockefeller or no? Is it on top of the Rockefeller Center? Or it's in that area, by the way, anyway. Check out the Wax Museum too. C'è una grande mostra di Raphael nel Museo Metropolitano. Ah, ok, sì, è il Top of the Rock in Rockefeller Plaza. Esatto, sì. Siamo stati stamattina a Rockefeller. Va bene. E allora, mani sulla tastiera, amici. Andiamo avanti con la prossima. Che arriva tra... Ah, Ginny dell'Utri. Ciao Virginia, come stai? Yes, mi dice Top 30 Rock. E c'è un rooftop sul The Pulse New York Hotel che è vicinissimo all'Empire State Building. Attenzione, Marianne, è vicinissimo all'Empire State Building. Ok? Va bene, andiamo avanti con la prossima, amici. 3, 2, 1, mani sulla tastiera, let's go! Difficult, this is difficult, guys, ok? La presentazione sarebbe stata perfetta se noi un po' di più. This is really difficult. I will do a little bit of translation into English and then I check the options. The presentation would have been perfect if we had prepared a little bit more. This is really complicated. This is only for intermediate students, okay? We have here a conditional type 3. Abbiamo un periodo ipotetico del terzo tipo. Last live grammar show, I went into the details of the conditionals in Italian. I explained in a practical way all the conditionals that we have in Italian. But let's look a little bit at the options that we have here. La presentazione sarebbe stata perfetta se noi A. Ci fossimo preparati un po' di più. B. La presentazione sarebbe stata perfetta se noi ci preparassimo un po' di più. C. La presentazione sarebbe stata perfetta se noi ci siamo preparati un po' di più. D. La presentazione sarebbe stata perfetta se noi ci preparavamo un po' di più. This is really difficult. Questa è molto difficile. I would love, guys, to go into the details of this one. But actually, last week, I did it already. So I will try not to do it today just for sake of not being boring. But if you go here to our community, then you go to learning and you see you go to the learning tab, you see there is live class recordings. Here is where you see all the recordings of everything that we do. I mean, it looks ugly now, but I need to make it bigger probably. Hold on. I opened something wrong. Allora, se vai qua, live class recordings. Allora, schedule. Ok. Se andate qua, cari amici, su recorded lessons, I put there also the recordings of the grammar. Okay, also the recordings of the grammar are here, recorded lessons, not only of the conversation. So if you go there and you look for the live grammar class from last week, you will see that I went into the details of all the conditionals in Italian. Ho fatto tutti i periodi ipotetici in italiano la settimana passata. Questo è un periodo ipotetico del tipo 3. It's really difficult, and it also in English is really difficult. The presentation would have been perfect if we had prepared a little bit more. Quindi l'opzione corretta è la A. Abbiamo bisogno proprio di un congiuntivo trapassato. we need trapassato in the subjunctive mode, ok? Quindi nella frase principale abbiamo un condizionale passato, nella frase subordinata abbiamo un congiuntivo trapassato, ok? This is a type of sentence that we use every time we want to talk about a condition in the past that didn't happen. So it's impossible. Questo è il periodo ipotetico della irrealtà. It's something that cannot happen. But it's the same as in English. Like, presentation would have been perfect if we had prepared a little bit more. But we didn't prepare a little bit more. So presentation was not perfect. That's a little bit the meaning. It's a topic for B2 students. Okay? Very difficult. Carlos, some of them let me in and others don't. Have someone check. What do you mean? Patricia, what do you refer to? Va bene. Oh, some of the recordings. Okay. Yeah, you know, what we do, we check all the live grammar class, or all the live classes that happen. We cut them and we upload them. So this is a process that we do manually, class by class. So we actually control and watch every single class, and then we upload it. Yeah. So sometimes there is a little bit of delay. Sometimes you might find the class 3 days later or 2 days later. Normally we try to upload them 1 day later. Okay, but sometimes, like now we are traveling, we take a couple of days. Ok, va bene. Il dito più veloce, let's see who was right and who was the fastest one. Allora, al primo posto abbiamo Mira Smart, secondo posto per Naeda, terzo posto per Lila, poi abbiamo Stesia, poi abbiamo Cindy Riva, poi abbiamo Marianne che diceva forse A è difficile, molto difficile, poi abbiamo Diane Di Gennaro e Marilyn, e abbiamo Susan Singleton e Patricia e anche Kent. Complimentoni. Va bene, mani sulla tastiera amici, let's go with the next one in 3, 2, 1 e vai. Al bar una cliente dice alla sua amica: guarda quel ragazzo, penso che lui molto simpatico. A, è molto simpatico. B, sarebbe molto simpatico. C, sia molto simpatico. E D, fosse molto simpatico. Allora, vediamo un po'. Qua l'indicazione che vi posso dare, the help that I can give you is the following. Normally we use lui è molto simpatico. He is really nice. Lui è molto simpatico in the present form indicativo when we are talking about a fact. He is really nice. It's a fact. But, however, if we have penso, I think, we cannot use indicativo anymore. So we cannot use è anymore if we have penso, because penso introduces a subjective point of view. When we are in this subjective point of view situation, opinions and so on, we need to use subjunctive mode in Italian, the so-called congiuntivo. This is not really, it's actually a rather basic use of the congiuntivo, but of course it's a A2B1 topic. This is not for absolute beginners. This is a topic that normally you learn after 3-4 months after studying Italian, maybe 5 months studying Italian, depending on how hard you study. But I give you a little bit of an overview. Subjunctive in English, congiuntivo in Italiano. This is something that you use in Italian every time you have a opinion or something that's subjective, something that is not a fact. It's more like what I believe. It's a belief or a thought or something like that. So congiuntivo presente, in this case, we use the subjunctive in the present tense. Why? Because we have penso as the main verb of the main clause. Io penso ora che lui sia molto simpatico. So the right answer is the sì, sia. Va bene? Dopo penso che si usa il congiuntivo. L'opinione è soggettiva e non è un fatto certo. Ok? After penso che, I believe that, we use subjunctive. Why? Because the opinion is a subjective opinion, is not a fact, is more like an opinion. Ok? Allora, adesso vi faccio, I go back to the page here. Oh, I want to talk about something briefly, something real quick. Nina Ferranti, anche se uso credo che, even if you use credo che, yes, you go to congiuntivo, you will need to use congiuntivo. Ritengo che, penso che, credo che, they are all the same, they all introduced a personal opinion, okay? Therefore, they will all need the subjunctive. Okay, now I want to show you something. So if you guys use the Go Collab app, for example, let's see. This is the app that we have for the community. If you want to see the recordings, you can just go to learning. Here there is learning. And then here you have all the video courses. You just go to live class recordings. Here are all the live classes that we do. At the bottom, you have grammar test. Then you open grammar test, and you can go to the one of last week. So the last one. And if you go to the one of last week, you will see that at a certain point, I went into the details of the periodo ipotetico. So this subjunctive topic, or the conditional in Italian. I mean, I'm trying to find it. It's somewhere here. I mean, you can watch it all. And at a certain point, you will see that I explained, I open a Word file. Yeah, there you go. You see? These are all the periodo ipotetico that we have in Italian. These are all the conditionals that we have in Italian. If you go in our recordings in the community, you open the live show from last week, and you go to the minute, I don't know, like around 37 minutes, maybe 35 minutes, you can see a full explanation of periodo ipotetico or conditional. I will not do it again today just because I did it last week. So go to the recording, because anyway, everything that we do in the community is recorded. Go to the recording and watch the explanation there. Va bene? Andiamo avanti. Dov'è l'app? L'app si chiama Go Collab. Cara Debbie, this is the app. It's called Go Collab. This is in the App Store, and it's also in the Android Store and so on. Oh, Play Store, yeah. This is for all students that are enrolled into the Piazza Square Italian School. All students have access to this one, okay? And that's where the real magic happens. That's where we organize all the group conversation classes every day, 2-3 times a day, okay? Va bene. Mani sulla tastiera, andiamo con la prossima. 3, 2, 1, vai. L'uovo è rotto, ma le sono intatte. Qual è il plurale di uovo? Uovi, uove, uova o uovo? Paola, we do this. We put the grammar explanation as attachment for each live grammar test. Yeah. Sometimes we might forget to upload it, but we always did it for all grammar classes. Probably last week I actually forgot to upload it, but normally it's always there. Va bene. Yes! Uova è il plurale di uovo. È un caso molto, this is an exception, this is like a very strange case in Italian. It's irregular. We have uovo al singolare, che è maschile, but it becomes feminine in the plural. So it will change to le, and the ending is uova. So this is crazy. In the singular is uovo, and it behaves as a masculine noun. In the plural becomes uova, not even uove, just uova with a. The ending is a, but it behaves as a feminine noun. So it's a completely crazy case in Italian. You can just learn it as an exception. It's an irregularity, ok? Va bene. Il dito più veloce è quello di Debbie al primo posto, secondo posto per Stefano, Mirek terzo posto, poi abbiamo Susan, poi abbiamo Lila, poi abbiamo Naeda, Mira Smart, Paola, Stefano, e poi chi altro abbiamo? Diane, David, Ed, Lisa Jesinger, Gerushka, Carol, Cindy Riva, Lori Leto, Stesia. Several of the grammar tests are missing attachment. Please check. Okay, I will check. Thank you, Paola. Thank you so much. I will check it. Okay. Today I will not forget. I will upload it. All right. Adesso andiamo avanti con la prossima. Mani sulla tastiera. 3, 2, 1, vai. Quale frase presenta un errore di concordanza tra soggetto e verbo? Where do we have a mistake in the gender agreement? Ok? A. Marco e Lucia è andato al cinema. B. I ragazzi hanno finito i compiti. C. Lei è partita ieri. D. Noi siamo arrivati tardi. Where do we have a mistake? I'll translate it into English. I will read it correctly in English. A. Marco and Lucia went to the movies. B. The boys finished the homework. C. She left yesterday. D. We arrived late. One of them has a mistake related to gender agreement, masculine, feminine, and so on. Quindi l'errore è nella frase A, perché Marco e Lucia sono due persone. Marco and Lucia is basically they. Noi non possiamo dire loro è andato al cinema, loro sono andati al cinema. Io sono, tu sei, lui è, noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. Marco e Lucia è loro. This is the same as saying they, loro. Sono andati al cinema. We also have to change the past participle from andato to andati. Va bene? Il soggetto è plurale, quindi il verbo deve essere al plurale. Marco e Lucia sono andati al cinema. Il dito più veloce è quello di Mira Smart, secondo posto per Nina Ferrante, terzo posto per Susan Singleton, e poi abbiamo Carol, Paola, Debbie, Lila, Diane, Mirek, Naeda, Katie, Ed, complimenti, Cindy Riva, poi abbiamo Stesia, e poi abbiamo Janine, poi abbiamo Cindy Riva, e poi abbiamo Joyce, e abbiamo il grande Kent. Excellent. Next topic, guys, I wanted to mention for our trip to Tuscany. We already have 11 participants for the trip to Tuscany. Trip to Tuscany, we have Jim Smith, Philip Bird, Ginny Dell'Utri, Virginia, Pamela, Sara Abudaye, Lori Leto, Marianna, Leslie, Louise Hill, Luisa, e poi abbiamo Marcia con il marito. So that's already 11 people, guys. I will close the group. I will need to close the group. If there is some other students that are interested and really want to join, please let me know as soon as possible. Let me know as soon as possible so that I can count you in. Okay? Please let me know as soon as possible. I always second words myself. L'ho riletto che cambia idea, forse. L'ho riletto that she's correct and then she changes mind, or what do you mean? Yeah. Okay, guys, let me know as soon as possible if you want to sign up for the trip that we will do in person in March next year. It will be March 2027. There are still 9 months to plan for the flight and so on. We will spend the whole week together in Italy. We will speak Italian only, so the whole group will be forced to learn. There is no way that from now to March you'll need to have at least an intermediate level, because we will speak Italian, guys. I will organize. I will support, of course. I will support if it's needed. I can translate a little bit into English, but the idea is that we have all tour guides and events and so on, everything in Italian. L'ho riletto, yeah, I had the right answer and changed my mind. Esatto. Ok, quindi ovviamente io viaggerò con il team, con il gruppo, io sarò parte del gruppo, e the idea is that we create something which is unforgettable. All right, I'm really working to make this a once in a lifetime trip. Okay, we do a lot of things. We go to Lucca for cooking class, Florence, market experience. We have full Italian immersion day, but we can also do a lot of Italian classes in between trips. But also during the trips, we will learn Italian because we will do all things in Italian. Okay, we go to visit a pasta factory in Pisa, truffle hunt in Siena. All right, everything is included except the flight. So here there is the whole breakdown of things that are not included. So basically the flight is the major one. All the rest is included, so you don't have to worry about anything, not even the dinners and the lunch. Here you have the details on the price, which is in euro, so we need to convert it into US dollar for the payment. And I'm also available to jump with you to a Zoom call so that I can clarify all the doubts that you might have. All right, so this is on the trip. What else? Let's do the last one. Facciamo l'ultima. Arriva l'ultima. 3, 2, 1. Vai con l'ultima. Quella è la professoressa. Ho chiesto una lettera di raccomandazione. A, la cui. B, di cui. C, che. D, a cui. The English translation of this sentence is, that's the teacher I asked a recommendation letter to. Okay, this topic is called relative pronouns. This is also an intermediate topic. È un tema per studenti di livello intermedio. It's called relative pronoun. This is used when we merge two different sentences. Sentence number 1 is, quella è la professoressa. Sentence number 2 is, ho chiesto una lettera di raccomandazione alla professoressa. Now, professoressa is mentioned in both sentences. How do we avoid the repetition? We basically combine them. Quella è la professoressa. Ho chiesto una lettera di raccomandazione alla professoressa. So we have the preposition a. All right? How do we do? If there is no preposition, we use the relative pronoun che. But in this case, there is preposition, so we use the relative pronoun a cui. Cui is always the relative pronoun that we use when we have a preposition. That's it. Va bene? Si usa a cui perché il verbo chiedere richiede la preposizione a per indicare il destinatario dell'azione. Il destinatario dell'azione cioè chi riceve l'azione, who receive the actions, is the destinatario, and there is a preposition a or to. I ask the letter to that teacher. Okay? It's not I ask the letter the teacher. No, I ask the letter to the teacher. We have that preposition to, which in Italian is a. And whenever we have a preposition, we use the relative pronoun cui. Quindi ho chiesto la lettera di raccomandazione alla professoressa, quella è la professoressa, e quindi quella è la professoressa a cui ho chiesto una lettera di raccomandazione. Il dito più veloce è quello di Alina al primo posto, grande Alina. Secondo posto per Debbie, e poi abbiamo Lila, e poi abbiamo Mira Smart, Cindy Riva, Kelly, Mirek, Susan Singleton e Kent Mazia. Complimentoni ragazzi, è stato un piacere vedervi e passare questa bella serata tutti insieme. Io vi saluto perché siamo a New York e ne approfitteremo ancora. Grazie a tutti gli amici che sono venuti ieri sera. Thank you guys for making this event a success. It was great to meet you in person and not only on Zoom. So thank you guys. This is amazing. I love you all. Grazie mille. Vi amo. Vi mando un mega abbraccio. Noi ci vediamo mercoledì prossimo, ma tutti i giorni voi vedete tutti i professori di Piazza Square. We meet each other next Wednesday, but as usual, every day you meet all Piazza Square professors for the conversation classes. Va bene? Allora, un abbraccio ragazzi. Salutiamo Mira Smart. Ciao Mira Smart. Ciao Rebecca, thank you. Ciao Rebecca, thank you. And un abbraccio a tutti ragazzi. Vi mando un bacione e ci vediamo settimana prossima. Va bene? Ciao Susan, divertiti a New York, certo. Grazie Susan, ciao ciao ciao. Diane, ciao Diane. Diane, you should come to Tuscany with us. Come Diane. Ciao, thank you for everything. Thank you Rebecca, you're amazing Rebecca. Va bene, ciao Mirek, ciao ciao. Va bene, ciao a tutti ragazzi, un abbraccio.